السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. نحمد الله ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. My dear brothers and sisters, welcome to our second episode of our series, The Saviors of Islam. As we look around the world today, we live in an era, in a time where everyone has found success within their own progression and their own ascension in this world. Success is limited to and confined to what is my benefit? What do I get out of this? If I do this for somebody else, what's my return? What's my benefit? This is a society, this is the structure of the societies and the communities that we live in today. It's a society which preaches and adorns selfishness, where it's all about me, it's all about I, and this is how we are living in the world today. But if we look back at our prophetic tradition, and if we see the ideal method and process which the Prophet ﷺ has put forth for us, which not only teaches us but motivates us to become the most influential and successful people in the world, we find that within his teachings, that khayrun nasi anfa'ahum lin-nas, that the greatest of people are not the ones that are worried about themselves, are not the ones that are worried about what's in it for me, but rather the greatest people and the most successful people are the ones that learn how to benefit others, that learn how to take care of others, that are selfless, and their worry and concern and their motivation of this world is how can I be of an asset to other people. They learn how to invest in people, not in the world. Just like how diamonds are chiseled from diamonds, people can only be chiseled from people. Great people are made from great people. Hence Sahabas were made from the Prophet ﷺ. And with this ideology and with this mindset, we find the great luminaries of Islam that came before us, the great leaders and the great heroes of Islam, the saviors of Islam. They lived and they emulated this concept in every aspect of their lives. And one of these great people, one of these giants and one of these heroes was the one that protected the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ at a time where the Rawafid, where the Kharijiyya, where the Khawarij, where the Mu'tazilites, all of them combined got together and they were attempting to fabricate and make up hadith. And at that time there came a man who became a pillar, who became the strongest structure of protecting the prophetic tradition from any type of fabrication. And this was none other than our great hero, Muhammad ibn Ismail al-Bukhari rahimahullah ta'ala.
دع الأيام تفعل ما تشاء وطب نفسا إذا حكم القضاء ولا تجزع لحادثة الليالي فما لحوادث الدنيا بقاء.
Who was this man? You know, today majority of the ummah does not even know his name. We recognize him by the name of Al-Bukhari, which is the nisbah of his city. His name Muhammad ibn Ismail ibn Ibrahim is connected to it reminds us of the name of the Prophet ﷺ, Muhammad ibn Ismail ibn Ibrahim. His lineage also goes back to Ismail alayhi salam and Ibrahim alayhi salam. Similarly, the name of the father of Imam Bukhari was Ismail and his grandfather was Ibrahim, giving us the idea that as the Prophet ﷺ came down and brought these numerous wise and thought-provoking ahadith, Imam Bukhari rahimahullah became that man who was to protect it. That's why Imam Warraq rahimahullah says that I saw in my dream that the Prophet ﷺ was walking, and right behind him was Imam Bukhari rahimahullah walking on the traces of the footsteps of the Prophet ﷺ. Right behind him, walking on those footsteps. When I woke up and I asked about what this dream meant, I was told by the great Ibn Sirin rahimahullah that this man, this child will become that person who will walk right behind the footsteps of the Prophet ﷺ, protecting his narrations. When Imam Bukhari rahimahullah was a child, he saw in his dream that the Prophet ﷺ was standing there, and there were flies and bees running and coming towards the Prophet, flying towards the Prophet ﷺ. And Imam Bukhari rahimahullah raised his hand and went around each corner inside of the Prophet, protecting him from these wasps and bees and flies coming towards him to harm him. And when he woke up and he asked for the meaning of this dream, he was told that this dream gives you the meaning that you will become that person and that individual that will protect the prophetic narrations from any type of fabrication and any type of weakness. This is who he was as a child, as a baby. That no success in this world comes without struggles. Man jadda wajada. No level of happiness and success comes to this world without some type of hardship. But for some the hardships start as soon as they enter into the world. Like Imam Bukhari rahimahullah, where his father passes away. And then in his infancy, he loses his eyesight. His mother, upon Imam Bukhari losing his eyesight, his mother starts crying every single night. For 2 years continuous, my brothers and sisters, it was not losing his eyesight for a few days or a few nights. They say it was at least 2 years where Imam Bukhari rahimahullah was not able to see. He was blind. And the mother is making dua every single night, waking up and crying and sobbing for her child. Finally one night, Ibrahim alayhi salam comes in her dream, and the dua is being answered. We have to believe, it's with conviction, that if we continue knocking on the door of Allah, and if we continue waking up and crying in front of Allah and beseeching His mercy and asking for whatever it may be that we ask for, which is permissible for us to have, we believe that the door will soon open. Imam Bukhari's mother never became depressed or hopeless from the mercy of Allah. She continued crying for 2 years straight. Ibrahim a.s. comes in her dream and he tells her that today Allah has decided and decreed that your son Muhammad will have his eyesight back. لِكَثْرَةِ دُمُوعِكَ, because of the excessive tears that you have been weeping on his behalf, he will have his eyesight back. And the next day, Muhammad ibn Ismail ibn Ibrahim al-Bukhari became a child whose eyesight was given back to him. He was able to see, and he took this blessing, understanding that it was a blessing, to the highest peaks of it. Today we have eyes, we see. We can see everything. But how many times in the day do we open the Quran and use these eyes to benefit us? How many times do we look at the sky and the moon and the stars and the blessings of the world and actually think about it? فَاعْتَبِرُوا يَا أُولِي الْأَبْصَارِ. We actually think about the blessings of the world. وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ. How many times do we close our eyes and think about ourselves and the blessings that Allah has given us? Imam Bukhari rahimahullah took these eyes and started his journey towards learning knowledge. At the age of 10, he started attending the durus and the halaqat of the local scholars of Bukhara. And Bukhara was a town which was not known for its knowledge or for its scholars. Bukhara was not like Kufa and Baghdad and Makkah al-Mukarramah and Medina. Bukhara was a city and a town, ma wara an-nahr, which was known for its commerce and business and trade. It was known for that. Imam Bukhari rahimahullah started learning. He went to his teacher. One of his earliest teachers was the Muhaddith Imam Dakhili rahimahullah. One day he enters upon the dars. He's sitting down in the corner. Like normally, just his normal schedule would be to sit in his class and not have a pen and paper, because Allah had given him photographic memory. Where Imam Ibn Kathir rahimahullah says that we do not know any person who had a better memory than Imam Bukhari rahimahullah. No one in our history is recorded within the scholars that had a better memory than Imam Bukhari rahimahullah ta'ala. He's just in his class and the teacher is reciting the hadith. This is at the age of 11. Our 11-year-old kids and youngsters probably don't know how to even read the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. Think about it. 11-year-old kids in society, what's their highest standard of success? What's their highest criterion of being successful in this world? It's again selfish. How many likes and how many followers do I have on Instagram? How many retweets do I have on Twitter? How many friends do I have on Facebook? This is the standard that society has made for us. A selfish society. What do I have? How many friends do I have? How many followers do I have? An 11-year-old kid sitting in front of the biggest muhaddith of his city. And the teacher says a hadith and narrates it with its sanad, with its chain of narrators. And he says that Sufyan narrates from Ibn Ishaq, from Ibn Zubayr, and Ibn Zubayr narrates from Ibrahim. Imam Bukhari rahimahullah raises his hand and he says, "Oh teacher, this doesn't really sound right. Lam yarwi Ibn Zubayr min Ibrahim." Because Ibn Zubayr never met Ibrahim. How can he narrate a hadith for him without meeting him? And Imam Dakhili rahimahullah questions him. 11-year-old child questioning the muhaddith of his time, the highest level that a scholar could reach. He had it. Imam Dakhili rahimahullah said, "You know what? I don't think you're right." Imam Bukhari rahimahullah says, "No, irja' ila aslik. Go back to your actual, the books that you wrote when you were a student in your actual books of hadith. Go back and check the actual wording of the hadith and the narrators." And he comes back, goes to his room, and he comes back, and he's smiling, and he asks Imam Bukhari, at that time a small child, 11 years old, that okay, if this is not the chain of narrators, what is? Imam Bukhari rahimahullah says that yes, Sufyan narrates from Ibn Zubayr, but Ibn Zubayr does not narrate from Ibrahim. He narrates from a scholar by the name of Adi, who then on narrates from Ibrahim, and this is the chain of narrators. The scholar smiles and he looks at him. He grabs him, he pats him on his shoulder, and he says to him, "Satakunu laka sha'nun ya waladi." Ya bunayya, a time will come where Allah will give you the highest statuses of the world. 11 years old, this is what he was doing. My child or my brother or my sister, 11 years old, we gauge what they're doing. This is a series to give us motivation, to re-identify ourselves to our history. These were people that left a mark because they were ready to start early. They were ready to make that sacrifice. By the age of 13 years old, he had memorized more than 60,000 ahadith. More than 60,000 ahadith by the age of 16 years old. He then goes on with his mother and brother for the journey of Hajj. When he comes to Makkah al-Mukarramah and he sees the beautiful bliss of the gatherings of hadith and Quran, he says to his mother, "Oh mother, I don't feel like going back. I want to continue this journey towards learning the knowledge of hadith and Quran." And this is the effect of ilm. This is the effect of sacred knowledge, that once you get a glimpse of it, once you get a sip of it, you want more and more. This is why I always tell the youngsters of our communities and all across the world, make it a part of your schedule to learn Quran and Hadith wherever you can. It can be online, it can be with your local scholar, it can be at an institute near you. This journey towards knowledge is what gives us food for our hearts and souls. It gives us purpose. It gives us a pathway to follow. Allah says, that can the people that have struggled to learn knowledge be the same as those that have not made that struggle? It's not possible. By the age of 16, he's in Mecca. He tells his mother, "Go back, I am staying here." Stays there for 6 years. And within those 6 years, he writes an encyclopedia of the Rijal of Hadith, the narrators of Hadith, Tarikh al-Kabir, sitting in the moonlight of Medina, next to the grave of the Prophet ﷺ. What a blessed spot to sit. And he's writing the names that have narrated from the Prophet ﷺ. While writing this book, a scholar says, when he finished writing this book, Muhammad ibn Yusuf rahimahullah, he says that there was not a single hair on his chin. This is how young he was. By the age of, they say, around the age of 18 or 19 years old. He then continues his journey of knowledge and he goes to Kufa, where he studies from different scholars, Yahya ibn Ma'in, Ali al-Madini, and the great legend Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal rahimahullah ta'ala. He starts his journey and he continues. He doesn't stop. This journey of knowledge does not stop. Once a student, always a student. But we have to at least put ourselves in the seat of being a student. Now at this time, he has become a great scholar. He's become a great muhaddith. The world knows him. And he says himself that the actual fuel of me learning knowledge, the actual fuel of me learning hadith and continuously traveling on this pathway was the fact that I kept myself grounded through my ibadah. The most primary effect and the most fundamental effect that we should receive in our life by reading Quran and learning Arabic and learning hadith is that we actually become more pious. What's the purpose of that knowledge that doesn't resonate into a'mal and that doesn't bring the effect of becoming more pious in the eyes of Allah? That does not affect the heart. He says the effect of my ilm and of my knowledge was directly found within my salat. His students say that one day he was praying salat. He's standing there praying salat, and he continues his salat, and we see him moving and itching himself very subtly after salat. He raises his shirt and he says, "Is there something there that's bothering me?" And we see a wasp that has stung him more than 17 times. 17 times the wasp had continued stinging him, but he did not move. One movement of someone around us in salah, our attention goes away from salah. He says, his student says that in the month of Ramadan, the last 10 nights, he would recite the Quran every 3 nights and finish it. They had a foundation and they had a purpose of learning knowledge because they wanted to implement that knowledge within their lives. This was Imam Bukhari rahimahullah. He says, this piety led me towards continuously struggling for knowledge. He comes to Baghdad once, and his legend had grown that he has a photographic memory. The scholars of Baghdad say, you know what? Is the man really up to the hype that people make him of? So they get together in the Jami' Masjid al-Kabir in Baghdad, 10 scholars, and they put him to test. And they each recite 10 ahadith. And they tell him that you have to repeat the hadith and tell us that, repeat it by memorizing it while we say it to you. But they try to pull a slick trick on him. And they recite the wrong chain of narrators, the wrong sanad of the hadith. And one by one, each scholar recites 10 until 100 are done. And Imam Bukhari rahimahullah starts and he says, first of all, that you, scholar A, you recited these 10 hadith. The first one, this is how you read it, but it was wrong. And this is the right one. And he continues reciting this until he finishes all 200, the incorrect ones and the correct ones. Ibn Kathir rahimahullah says, we are not amazed and marveled by the fact that he had memorized the correct 100 hadith. We are amazed and marveled by the fact that he was able to memorize the incorrect ones just by hearing them one time. This was just his memory. This is how Allah had given him that natural power of his memory to memorize hadith. As soon as he would see them, he would look at a page and he would memorize it. But again, this was the effect of his good deeds. Today, we say that we can't memorize. Today, we say that we cannot store our knowledge in our brains. Today, we say it's difficult for us to learn. Have we ever thought to ourselves, perhaps the reason for this is that our eyes are continuously looking at haram? How can sacred knowledge fall into our hearts? نزل به الروح الأمين على قلبك لتكون من المنذرين. That Quran and Hadith has been revealed within the heart of the Prophet. If our hearts are not clean because of the things that we look at and the noises that we hear and the gossip that we speak, Imam Bukhari rahimahullah says that I do not remember after the age of 11 ever gossiping and backbiting about anyone. Never in my life. His students say that we never saw our teacher ever get into an argument. Quiet, humble for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And his legend continues. He continues preaching and teaching. A time comes where the people of Samarkand call him. The people of Nishapur, the city of Imam Muslim rahimahullah, they call him and they tell him to come here. Imam Duhli rahimahullah, who was a scholar of that region, of that city, he gathers 10,000 plus people to go to the outskirts of the city to welcome the great Muhammad ibn Ismail al-Bukhari, to bring him to the city. He comes and all these people are there. They are there to welcome him, bring him into the city. But a few months later, sometime later, jealousy creeps into the hearts of Imam Duhli rahimahullah and other scholars. And they start fabricating statements about Imam Bukhari rahimahullah. And they take all of his students away. Those hundreds and thousands of students that he had, now they're gone. Now they're all gone because one man has fabricated stories about him and statements about him. Now he has no one left. One student comes back to him, Imam Muslim rahimahullah ta'ala. And he says to him, the great Imam Muslim, he comes to him and says, Ya Ustad, دعني, let me go, give me permission, and أقبل رجليك, so I can kiss your feet because of how much status and respect that Allah has given you. How much respect Allah, just let me kiss your feet. It will be the coolness of my heart if you let me kiss your feet. This is the respect that he had for him. Today, we have Bukhari in our shelves. We have these books lying around. But the only benefit that is giving to us is that it's taking the space on the shelves for us. This is the respect that these scholars would have. Our imams in our masjids, our scholars, our teachers of hadith and Quran, those scholars or those imams or those huffaz that teach our kids Quran, we learn how to respect them. We learn how to honor them. These are people that gave their lives to learn hadith and Quran. They're not doing it just for a paycheck. We learn how to honor them and respect them, like Imam Muslim rahimahullah, the giant himself is honoring Imam Bukhari rahimahullah. At this moment, he says, people have made up stories about me. I'm leaving. And this is a sign of a friend of Allah. Inna ardallahi wasi'a fa iyaya fa'budun. It's not about where I am. If it's difficult for us to preach deen over here, we move around. We're not confined to a place. And we're not affected by our followers. He had 10,000 students one day, and the next day all of them are gone. He's not affected because he knows he's doing it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He leaves the city, and this is after he has completed his great collection of Sahih al-Bukhari, of Al-Jami' al-Sahih al-Bukhari, more than 7,275 hadith he has written inside of this book. This is after this book has been written. And he tells his students, and I wrote this book in 16 years. 16 years I wrote this book. And today I opened the book and I have not studied a lick of Quran and Hadith, and I think I can talk about the book. I feel like I have the level of ilm and taqwa to go on and teach the book. We are not deserving to teach these types of books or read these books, but Allah has given us tawfiq, وَمَا تَوْفِيقِ إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ, to even open these books and read the hadith in these beautiful books that He has written. He says that every single hadith that I would write, I would make sure to perform a new wudu and pray 2 raka'ah istikhara and then write that hadith down. 7,275 hadith. He chose from more than 300,000 hadith. So we can imagine the sihhat and the authenticity of these ahadith. And he finishes the book off in Medina. The last 2,000, he completes it next to the grave of the Prophet ﷺ. And today, Asahul Kitab Ba'd al-Quran. Asahul Kitab. The most authentic book after the Quran is Sahih al-Bukhari. The name of Bukhari is echoing in every single school of knowledge, every single madrasa, jami'ah, ma'had across the world, because Allah has accepted it. Because He realized that I am not someone that will be selfish. I will become a person that people can benefit from. Whatever skill you have, whatever skill or trait that I have, I think about it. How can I use this skill? How can I use this trait of mine to benefit people? If I am a physician, how can I use this medicine of mine to help people? If I am someone that knows IT, how can I benefit my masjid? If I am someone that's a hafiz, how can I benefit my friends and the people around me? And if I am a hafiz, if I am learning hadith, this also comes with a standard that we have to keep ourselves pious. We have to keep ourselves connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He leaves Nishapur and he goes back to Bukhara. Sometime later, the king of Bukhara, Khalid ibn Hamad, kicks him out. He leaves Bukhara. This is the great legend, Imam Bukhari rahimahullah, the person that we speak about, and we read his name every single day, and our eyes tear, and our heart melts due to the love that we have for him. He is kicked out of all the cities around him, and he is traveling alone. Today, even a normal person in this world, our bosses, our employers, normal people in this world don't travel alone. They have their entourage with them. They have drivers with them. He is driving and traveling in the deserts of Khurasan and of Bukhara and Nishapur and Samarkand all alone. No one is around him. No one is with him. But this shows us the fact that acceptance is not dependent upon what people think of us. Everyone left him. There was no one with him. Acceptance is in the eyes of Allah. When Allah loves us, everyone starts loving us. When Allah accepts us, the acceptance is done. This is why when Imam Bukhari rahimahullah passed away, when he passes away, after reaching a small town of Khatrang, his aunt's house or the houses of his relatives, no one is with him. He leaves the house one day and he says, Ya Allah, قَدْ ضَاقَتْ عَلَيِّ الْأَرْضِ مَا رَحُبَتْ. The earth has become so tight on me. No one wants to listen to me. No one wants to hear my narrations. Please take me back. I don't want to stay in this world. Take me back. I want to meet you. And I want to meet the beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he leaves the world before Asr Salah on Thursday. He leaves the world. Thursday night, Imam Wahidi rahimahullah sees a dream. Imam Wahidi rahimahullah sees a dream where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself, with his companions, is standing on the gates of Jannah, waiting outside, looking around, waiting for someone to come by. He says, I ask him, Ya Rasulullah, what are you waiting for? Ma intadaruk? What's your waiting? What's this moving around, looking around? What are you waiting for? He says, do you not know? Do you not know the great Muhammad ibn Ismail has left this world today, and I am standing on the gates of Jannah, so I can hurry to meet him, and I can hurry to hug him, so I can show him how much I love him. Today, if we leave the world today, will the Prophet hurry to us to give us a hug and to meet us, or would he turn his back away from us? Would he turn away from us in disgrace and embarrassment for the lives that we have lived? So these people, these legends and these saviors of Islam are not just there so that we can read their stories and hear their lives, but rather we read their stories, we listen to stories about their lives, so we can understand that we have a bigger purpose. There was a time when no one was protecting hadith. The savior of Imam Bukhari came. Today is a time where learning knowledge is something which is scarce and rare in our communities. We make it a part of ourselves that our children, ourselves, our youngsters, If we're studying in university, we make it a point that somehow, some way, I will learn hadith and Quran. If we're parents, we somehow, some way make it a part of our week. Once a week, go to an online class, go to a dars in your masjid, learn, educate ourselves. The first command that was given to the Prophet after him bringing Iman was Iqra, educate yourself, because there is no one that can come to the level of those that have strived for knowledge. وَالَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْعِلْمَ دَرَجَاتٍ. Those that have strived for knowledge are at the highest levels, and respect those people that have learned around you and that are educated and that are helping the community. Make your children become hafidh. If you're not hafidh, make your children hafidh, make your children scholars, make them those people, that the stars that are shining in the sky for our communities. They will become those youngsters that every parent would want their kid to become like. We have to become that change that we want to see in society. So the second quality of our series that we want to bring into our life is the dedication of striving for knowledge. من سلك طريقا يلتمس فيه علما سهل الله طريقا للجنة. That person who strives for knowledge, Allah opens the gates of Jannah for him, and He makes that journey to Jannah easy for him. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us understanding in the love for Imam Bukhari in our hearts. Put it into our hearts. We should love these people. They should be part of those people that we make dua for on a daily basis. They should be amongst those people that we say, Ya Allah, unite us with them in Jannah, unite us with them in the gathering of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah give us tawfiq to understand their greatness, bring it into our life, and see what they strive for and what they struggle for, and attempt to our limits, whatever we can, attempt to make those same struggles within our lives and within the lives of our family. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us with His understanding. Jazakallahu khair. Wa akhu da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.